The Genzis and the other young people that want to change this country will not have an influence in the coming 2027 election. This one I'm convinced because one, they're disorganized. Two, they do not have a specific leader that they want to choose or a specific person that they have agreed to put in office. And number three, they do not have a party they belong to. Somebody once said that a people united in doing the wrong thing will be more successful than a people divided trying to do the right thing. And the Gen Zs are that people that are divided but trying to do the right thing. As a young person in this country, I could surely do with better governance and better leaders than the ones we have currently. But a reality check tells me that these are the people we'll end up with in the office after the 2027 election. If we are going to be honest with ourselves, we have Ruto on one side and we have Gachagua on the other side. We have to choose between the two animals. I know this is not what most of you want to hear. I know this is not the sweetest part of what you want to hear. But in 2027, we are choosing between Ruto and Gachagua. Anything else is noise. Whoever you want to front is noise. I will advise you as a young person, focus on the other elective posts. Focus on your governor. Focus on your MP. Focus on your MCA. They will give you more value because I am sure in that area you have more options than up here. Up here, you have Gashagwa and Ruto, and you have to choose which evil is lesser evil than the other. Because if you're trying to compare the two, they are one and the same person. I have seen so many people try to demonize Ruto because now Gachagua is exposing the government. I've seen many people try to demonize Gachagua for being a tribal because Ruto does not speak openly about his tribalism. No, they are one and the same person. But they have different merits they offer. If we look on the Gachagua side, we don't know who is going to front as the candidate. The advantage on this side is we already know that Trudeau is the candidate. So at this point, you can gauge his pros and cons. And I wanted to be very careful in gauging the cons and the pros of the leaders that we're going to choose for the presidency come 2027. For Ruto, he has laid his agenda clear. He has said, this is what I want to do, this is what I will do. 97% of what he says are lies, 3% true. For example, when he came to power in the previous election, he had a lot of promises that never happened. I think he had promised by the 100 days in office, he will have introduced free education in this country from primary to high school. By the time he was finishing 100 days in office, school fees in high school started increasing. Now, school fees in colleges is always double. But that's not the problem. What I'm trying to say is this. There are things he said he did not deliver. There are things he said he delivered the opposite. But there are things he also delivered. He delivered the Atlanta Stadium. That one everybody can see. He is working on other projects. He delivered the housing project, the affordable housing project. I'm not saying he delivered the affordable housing project because I like it. It is one of the most useless projects that any government has ever done. Yet it's a project he delivered. So it is not fair for us to say Ruto is not a performer because I think there are so many things that he has performed economically, stabilizing the economy. If we are being fair to ourselves, when Uhuru left the government, the economy was more confused than it is right now. The shilling was dancing between 130 and 180. I mean, you'll wake up in the morning. I remember those time I was working as a freelancer online. I was withdrawing my money in dollars. Well, wake up in the morning one day, the rate is 130, next day is 140, next day is 160, next day is 180. And then it kept on getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And the World Bank was telling us back then that the Kenya shilling is finding its true value. And they used to believe that the true value of the Kenya shilling will stabilize at around 200 shillings per 1 USD. But no, when Ruto came in and Professor Ndi, they did some magic in renegotiating the loans that were making us so vulnerable, and the shilling stabilized. Many people do not understand the importance of the stabilization because, considering the amount of loans that the country was paying at that time, and considering the rate of inflation that was happening at that time, most Kenyans could barely be affording food by now if it continued. So, Ruto delivered in stabilizing the economy. Ruto delivered in managing inflation, because at the time when he came to office, food commodities were very high. And I'm saying this because I know, because I was running a restaurant at that time and I was buying all food commodities, and they were off. The prices for flour and cooking oil and everything was just terrible. On the other side, we have people like Kalonzo, who might be fronted as the candidate by Omunyoro. We have people like Matiangi, who are proposed to be the candidates for this position. These people are not clearly given as the agenda. These people, their only agenda is Ruto must go. Then the question becomes, are they a better candidate than Ruto? Clearly, no. So which options do we have? I'm not proposing Ruto to be a president. I'm just welcoming those that have ideas to reason with me. If you truly, truly, truly love your country and you want it to move forward, come, let's have this conversation. Who is a better lion to eat us from 2027 to 2032? Because they're the two options we have. The difficult conversation is that they are the two options we have. Either Gachagua and his team, or Ruto. It would have been better to have a more civil, a more elaborate, articulate young leader to come in place. But people will look up to like Ndindi Nyoro, like Sefuna. They are not interested in the presidency. And they know even if they try to run, they cannot win the presidency. The fact remains that our elections are based on our tribes. And at the moment, Ruto and Gachagua are the tribal kingpins in the country. They control the largest tribal voting blocks. I hope you remember that only 34% of the newly registered voters are below the age of 35. So before you start telling me I don't know what I'm speaking, come with your numbers. The Gen Zs have the numbers to put Sifuna in government. The Gen Zs have the numbers to put Didi or whoever they choose in government. No, they don't. So let us start having the conversation between Ruto and Womnyoro. Who is better for us? That is the discussion we need to start having as the young people of this country. Between Ruto and Womnyoro, who is better for us going forward?